Fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film.
Most people in the world sadly lack the confidence necessary to facilitate change in their life. I truly do wish that people would see how easy it could be to realize their confidence. But we all operate through the lens of beliefs, where we distort events in our life to fit the stories we accept for ourselves. And while I can't change a lens, I can offer a different pair. You see, over the years I have transformed my confidence into something that I'm very proud of, and I have full belief that I can be a catalyst for your change. But truthfully, you are the one responsible for this change, because you will either choose to take action or non-action after this video. The power is in your hands, remember that. But to start it off, I have 5 steps listed in order for you to realize your confidence. And even though I'm giving you a technique of some sort, don't treat it as law. Adjust it how you see fit, because one size doesn't fit all. It's not meant to be perfect, but it's meant to help. So starting with step 1, we have recognizing the lies. You see, this is a repeated sentiment on my channel because it is the foundation of how we operate. Whether you know it or not, your mind plays a bigger role in your daily life than you believe. Most of your actions and decisions are a byproduct of your subconscious. A lot of the things we do are on autopilot, so if we don't recognize and be more mindful of this, we can fall into the vicious cycles of so-called change, where you set goals, do good for a few days or even weeks, fall off track, and feel like you gotta restart all over again. You gotta understand that you have picked up lies about who you believe yourself to be throughout your life. Everything you are is learned. You come into this world as a blank canvas who is trying to navigate and survive it. In order to do so, you add color, aka beliefs, to your canvas to fit in and have direction. The problem is that most of your color was chosen through proximity and not through discernment. You pick up whatever your environment tells you to, but they never had a choice either. They picked it up from their environment, and the same things follow for the preceding generations. Of course, there will be outliers and there will be a few tweaks here and there, but the basis usually remains the same. But just because it's always been this way does not mean we should allow it to be. So you need to allow yourself to start from scratch on who you think you are. Because even though you are a canvas, your work is not set in stone. You are more like a dry erase board that can host whatever imagery necessary and erase whatever is not. The second step is to revise the story you created. Now that we have erased everything, the canvas is clear and ready to be impressed upon. This is where the fun begins. Because you need to ask yourself, what does confidence look like on you? How do you walk? How do you talk? What do you wear? How would you behave? The best part about this to me is that we already know the answers to these questions. I want you to realize that you always had these answers because they are a part of your true essence. You never had to obtain it. This is why you realize confidence and not gain it. You can't gain something you always had. You just had to clear the trash blocking its light. Now, while you're inquiring about what confidence looks like on you, remember to use your gut. Jot down the first things that come to mind because they're the most genuine. This part should be fun and playful. Plus, if you struggle with confidence already, you probably overthink and overanalyze anyway, which just means you need to learn to trust your intuition more to begin with. With that being said, we move on to step 3, learning intuition versus ego. One of the biggest and best lessons in life is to learn to live in the moment, to live in the present. We get caught up and even frozen when we relish in things that don't exist. We already know that time is an illusion. So the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. The ego treats these things as separate and something to worry about. But your intuition gives you the power to do right now. And you can tell the difference by one main metric. It's the way that both of these things speak. The ego speaks in questions, while your intuition speaks in statements. Your intuition is meant to empower you, not diminish. So even in a scenario where no is your best option, your intuition may say something like, "That's not in your best interest," opposed to your ego saying, "Can you handle all of that?" The wording is subtle, but crucial. The more you listen to your intuition, you are putting greater value in yourself, because you are letting yourself be trusted, opposed to others and other things, which in turn defines confidence. Now that we know how to distinguish the ego versus intuition, we can effectively practice step 4, which is to live in the present moment. We already briefly covered this in the last step, and honestly step 3 and 4 are interchangeable. But to effectively live in the present, we needed to know what we were listening for. With this awareness, we need to apply this in our daily life, in every moment that we can. Every moment is a new opportunity to re-solidify who we are. The more you can compile on this self-belief will only cement your story more into your DNA. And this consistency is the last step, precisely. This plan to revise who you are is a devotional practice, truthfully. It's something you have to consciously embody due to how long the old story has been playing. Of course, over time, the story will be more familiar and you don't have to be fully aware of your actions. But even so, living in the present and in the story you want is one of the most beautiful and empowering things you can do. This ability to choose what we want to be like at any moment in time is one of the best examples of a loving God. Because I don't have to live by any definition but the one that I create for myself. Isn't that a beautiful thing to think about? So you see, 5 steps is all it takes to realize who you have been all this time. Choose to change today to see a better tomorrow. Peace.
I'd like to make you stay. I'd like to make you stay. I'd like, if you don't know